We believe we know the wild. We see a tiger and we see a hunter, a king ruling its domain with undisputed power. But in the great forests of India, another story waits to be told, a story that asks, who is the true monarch? The one who hunts to survive, or the one who is destined to guard this land for generations? Our journey takes us to Kanha Tiger Reserve, a sprawling epic written across nearly 1,000 square kilometers of Madhya Pradesh. This is no mere park. It is a living, breathing cathedral of nature, the largest of its kind in the heart of India. It is a kingdom of grass and shadow, so vast it stretches across 2 entire districts. Imagine a misty dawn, where golden light spills across the meadows, catching every dewdrop like a tiny jewel. We are gliding over the lowland forests, a world painted in the deep greens of sal trees. Their ancient canopy creates a realm of dappled light and whispered secrets below. As we ascend, the landscape transforms, revealing the highlands, a tropical, dry, deciduous forest. Here, groves of bamboo stand like sentinels, their leaves rustling on the wind with a sound like soft rain. This is a different, more rugged face of Kanha's beauty. Among the vibrant greens, you can see the stark, pale trunk of the Indian ghost tree, a silent watcher in the woods. Take a moment. Close your eyes and breathe in the air here, the rich scent of damp earth, of wild blossoms, and the undeniable hum of life. Can you feel the ancient pulse of this place? But listen. A sudden stillness falls over the forest. And then, from the shadows, a low, powerful rumble that you feel more than you hear. A flash of fire and night, and 2 amber eyes, burning with fierce intelligence, lock onto you from the darkness. The Bengal tiger, the park's sovereign ruler, steps into the light. Every movement is a study in controlled power, a silent, fluid grace that has inspired fear and reverence for millennia. This creature is the very reason this land was sanctified as a tiger reserve, a living monument to all that is wild. And every ruler has its court. Draped on a high branch, the elusive Indian leopard watches the world below, a master of stealth. Nearby, the formidable sloth bear digs with powerful claws, a shaggy, unpredictable force of nature that shares this domain. In the swampy grasslands, a unique jewel of Kanha resides. Here, a magnificent herd of Barasingha, the swamp deer, graze peacefully, their stunning 12-tined antlers held high. They are a testament to one of India's greatest conservation success stories, brought back from the brink of extinction within these borders. This success is celebrated so proudly that Kanha became the first tiger reserve in India to anoint an official mascot. He is Barasingha the Barasingha, a charming ambassador for his species. He exists to forge a connection between our world and his, reminding us of all that is at stake. But not all of Kanha's inhabitants are solitary rulers. Moving as one fluid, intelligent unit are the dhole, the Indian wild dogs. They are the tireless, cooperative hunters of this forest, a social predator whose efficiency and grace are as breathtaking as the tiger's power. Suddenly, the peace is shattered by a chorus of sharp, frantic barks, the alarm calls of cheetal deer. You are here now, an observer in this tense moment. Scan the tree-line, look into the tall grass. Where is the danger coming from? Now, lift your gaze to the sky, where a different kind of life bursts forth in a symphony of sound and color. A crested serpent eagle carves circles on the wind, its keen eyes missing nothing. This reserve is a paradise for over 300 species of birds, each a splash of brilliance in the canopy. It is a living kaleidoscope of motion. You see the electric blue flash of an Indian roller taking flight, the daring dive of a white-breasted kingfisher, and the determined, comical strut of a red-wattled lapwing. This is the vibrant, joyful pulse of Kanha. And then, the ultimate spectacle. An Indian peafowl unfurls its iridescent train, a breathtaking display of shimmering blues and greens. This is the paradise of Kanha, a world in perfect, harmonious balance. Or so it seems. Because to understand this land, we must look at a different image, an old, faded photograph. In it are the faces of the Baiga people, weathered and wise. They are a semi-nomadic tribe, and for centuries, this forest was not just their home, it was their identity. Their culture was woven from the threads of this ecosystem, their survival dependent on its rhythms. In 28 villages nestled deep within these woods, they lived not as intruders, but as the forest's human guardians. They held its secrets, understood its language, and protected its spirit. Then came the year 1968. To create what was officially termed a critical tiger habitat, the Baiga were relocated. The paradise we have just witnessed was built upon the foundations of their displacement, a beautiful wilderness with a forgotten human story. They were forced to leave the only world they had ever known, packing meager belongings with a silent, profound sorrow. The relocation wasn't just a change of address, it was the severing of a spiritual cord that had connected them to this land for generations. Today, the land they were moved to is barren and unforgiving, a world away from the lush bounty of the forest. The people who once thrived as children of the jungle now suffer from malnourishment. They are a people unmoored, their heritage left behind in the tiger's protected kingdom. And so, we must ask the difficult question. The tiger was saved, but at what cost to humanity? Look at the thriving forest, teeming with life. Now look at this struggling community. Is this what true conservation is meant to be? The injustice is not just a relic of the past. As recently as 2010, the last of the Baiga villages was moved from the core zone, in some cases illegally and without the compensation they were promised. The very act of preservation became an act of dispossession. This forced separation has ignited a new and dangerous conflict. We see a farmer, standing over the remains of his precious livestock, killed by a tiger that has strayed beyond the park's invisible boundaries. His grief is raw, and it is hardening into anger. Now, the fight for survival is on both sides of the line. For humans, desperate poverty can lead to dependence on the forest's resources. And for the tiger, every attack on livestock raises the terrifying prospect of a retaliatory killing. A frantic race against time has begun. Conservationists rush to villages to de-escalate tensions. A magnificent tiger is tranquilized and examined. Satellite maps flash across the screen, showing the shrinking pathways between forests, trapping animals and people in a cycle of conflict. But amidst the chaos, a different approach is taking root. Teams from organizations like WWF India are not just talking about tigers, they are sitting with villagers and listening. They are working to understand the human cost and find ways to heal the rift. And from this empathy, a brilliant resolution is born. The answer isn't to build higher fences to keep nature in, but to build new bridges to let it move. The future of Kanha lies in creating protected corridors of land, linking this reserve to other wilderness areas. These corridors are vital lifelines. They give tigers and their prey the space they need to roam, find mates, and thrive, preventing genetic decline. Most importantly, they guide the animals away from human settlements, offering a path to peace. And here, we see a glimpse of that hope. Captured by a hidden camera, a tiger moves silently through a newly protected corridor under a moonlit sky. It is a wild spirit on a safe passage, a powerful symbol that coexistence is possible. At the same time, new initiatives are being introduced in the Baiga communities, offering alternative ways to make a living. It is a slow, painstaking process. It is an attempt to mend a wound that has festered for over half a century. Kanha, the paradise for animals, has become something more, a human crucible. It is a place that is testing our wisdom, our empathy, and our ability to balance the needs of the wild with our duty to each other. This is the great lesson of Kanha. It is a story of loss, conflict, and the determined search for coexistence. For we now understand that the long-term survival of the tiger is completely intertwined with the well-being of the people who live in its shadow. And as we watch the tiger one last time, it turns its head, its gaze meeting ours. In those ancient eyes, we see not just a predator, but a fellow traveler on this planet. It is a look that seems to hold the weight of this entire, complex story. The sun sets over Kanha, bathing the forest in a final, contemplative glow. The silhouettes of the ancient trees stand as silent witnesses to this ongoing saga of survival, sacrifice, and hope. This is a story that is still being written. So we return to our question, who is the true king? Perhaps true royalty lies not in power, but in guardianship. Now that you have heard the whole story, you are no longer just an observer. What role will you play in guarding both the hunter and the people of the forest?